Just walk back really zesty like
Bro. Alright. What's up, guys? Episode 2 of the podcast. We have a special guest.
Hello.
Jacob.
Jacob.
So, Jacob, can you explain to the audience why me and Dylan waited 30 minutes for you to get here? Would you mind? Let's start there.
Okay, because I was working with my dad.
Oh,
I was cleaning up this lawn that was dump, and was cutting trees all day, and
oh, you're doing some man work.
basically at like 5 o'clock, I barely had the trailer loaded, so it's like you give me till 5:30, and then at 5:30 I still wasn't here, and I showed up at 5:45.
Well, at least you have an actual excuse. At least you weren't like
Yeah.
just like getting like McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was working.
So did your dad pay you for that?
Yeah,
How much?
I'm getting like $400 for this job.
Damn, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's some work though, cutting trees.
Yeah, the yard is a mess.
Little
The
lumberjack.
yard is a mess.
Yeah.
I'm
A little lumberjack.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, episode 2. First episode got like 100 and something views, like 14 likes. I'm pretty happy with that.
Dang.
What about you, Dylan?
It's fine.
I'm actually pretty disappointed.
Yeah, for like only 100 views. Like,
I was disappointed. I was so tired in that episode. But
I thought we did decent for a first
I was also
episode.
tired of that episode.
Oh, God.
I was tired. 4 minutes in.
Jacob actually left a dislike on that first podcast, guys. He said that shit sucked.
I did.
Because Jacob's thoughts on religion are kind of...
Bro. Yeah, he says that the moment you turn 18, you're supposed to get married, have kids, and then start a family. That's what Jacob.
I heard that jodeci said money does buy happiness.
It's true. So real. It does. Money literally is the key to everything. Like, if you're depressed, like, just get rich. Like, if you're sad, like, just get money. Like, that's all you have to do. Like, why are you sad? Just get money. Like,
What are our real thoughts on money buying happiness?
all right. So yeah, this is one of our topics. Money buying happiness. Who wants to start? Jacob, you want to start?
I do. Everyone says money doesn't buy happiness, but I believe quite the contrary, because I think without money, you're really stressed. Like, your living expenses, and you don't want to leave the lights on all the time. I just feel like there's more worries.
Jodeci's done after that.
Yeah, Jodeci's
No, I decided to make noodles before this podcast, and it's really scuffed. But just keep going. I'm listening. We're still in this bitch.
Jodeci started cooking chicken Alfredo, and I was like, Jodeci, you're doing that right before the podcast? And he goes, crap. I'm kind of an idiot, because now I have to keep checking it while we do it.
Fuck it, we ball though. But yeah, so Jacob, so you basically think like money does buy happiness because it alleviates stress with like the bills and...
Yes.
But
So maybe it doesn't buy happiness, but I think... I don't think it hurts. I don't think it hurts.
I think what you're describing is peace of mind.
Yeah.
I think it relieves you of your financial stress, but I feel like... I don't know.
Yeah, well, what Dylan said. I feel like, yeah, like having money, like... Because finances are stress, you know? So when you get that stress off your chest and you have money...
But money's also the cause of that stress.
Exact. True. And when you get more money, you just want more. And like, it's never enough.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a weird thing. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna act when I actually start making real money. I'm just making chump change right now, but like...
We were talking about it at work. We were saying, oh, you know how cool it would be to switch money or switch bank accounts with Bill Gates. And my thought was, I'm glad that'll never happen to me. Like, we'll switch accounts because
I think you're boiling over.
Yeah, that bitch is boiling.
then I'd have a ton of money, but I knew I didn't work for it, so I'd be spending it
Yeah.
like I did.
I think the more money you have, the more money you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like you never actually win, but
I feel like being stingy on money is the biggest way to lose in life.
yes. But I do think like being able to take vacations or being able to provide for your family and live in a nice house and not have to worry about money and be debt free, like I guess like the peace of mind could pave an easier path to happiness.
Yeah, I'm gonna screenshot a lot of pictures of your guys' feet in this. But
I put the socks on because someone was this one girl on my Snapchat named Chloe. Chloe, if you're watching this, you're fucked up for this. She's like, yeah, you need to fucking wash your stinky ass feet. I can see your toe crust and everything in the first video. Chloe, you're fucked up for that.
So what are your thoughts on money buying happiness, Julie?
Okay, so me personally, I don't think money can buy.
Don't
you
worry,
happiness.
I'll go take care of your chicken Alfredo
Thank you.
that is boiling over right now.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like. I personally think that
Bro.
you might have to like turn the heat down a bit, and, like open up
A
the
bit? A bit?
Well, these electric stoves suck, bro.
Oh, dude, you suck.
Money, I know. Money
You're
doesn't.
making noodles. That's all this is.
Look, it was a last second thing, okay? Money does not buy happiness, just simply because of the fact that once you get more money, you have the honeymoon effect where like you care about that money for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then this dude's shaking ass in the kitchen. You care about that for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then afterwards you're like, okay, what's next? Like I want more money. Like what I make now is like, I just feel like, yeah, but I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. But like I'm sitting here acting all wise and being like, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness. But in reality, if I had a lot more money right now, it would make my life a lot easier. So,
But I'd say money can make your life easier, but that doesn't make you happier. That doesn't because I'd say having life easy doesn't make me happy, because if you never work hard, like just put yourself in that hard work. Like pickleball, it's not easy, but it does make me pretty happy regardless if I lose. Yeah.
I saw that meme you posted on your story today about pickleball being like the only sport where if you lose, it's still fun.
Oh,
Pickleball really is fun, bro. We gotta play that sometime.
Yeah. And after hearing you talking about playing with Erin, I'm like, I'd love to play with her before this tournament in September.
Dude, she's good. She's actually.
Oh yeah, I know. Played with her in my gym class.
Dude, she's low key. She's like that. She'll give you the fucking swats. She'll give you the fucking smacks with the fucking.
She'll make you look like you're swatting for bees.
Bro, she made me look like I have like. She made me look like I've never played a sport in my life.
she
But,
was
alright.
tying your hands up.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic. We're trying to make sure we add more topics to this podcast. Oh, also shout out to Lisa for giving us the topic of money buying happiness. But shout out to Lisa. Lisa had some pretty good points, Dylan, about how like. Let's talk about what Lisa was telling us about the whole like when you meet someone and they
Social
tell
status?
you. Yeah. So our homegirl Lisa was telling me and Dylan ideas for the podcast, and she was saying how she wanted us to talk about how when you meet a person, and that when you meet someone, what do you say? Oh, hi, what's your name? Like where do you work at, right? And when they tell you where they work at, you automatically judge and you place them in a category, right? Like low class, middle class, higher class. And I thought that's so interesting because I do that. I know I can be really judgmental, and I'm sure everyone else is like that too, But that's something that I haven't thought about on a conscious level, is how like we subconsciously judge people and put them into these lower class, middle class, higher class categories just due to where they work at Walmart or Target. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I feel like that's what is it? What are those inner thoughts that you shouldn't let out?
Intrusive thoughts?
Intrusive thoughts? Yeah, I feel like those are those intrusive thoughts that you shouldn't let out, because everyone's gonna judge something in the back of their mind, but what makes the difference is when people don't, is when people aren't judging. At least in person, because I can see Jacob going up there and be like, he walks so stupid, that dude's legs are so funny looking. But obviously that's true, and that's my actual thought. But it's not one of those things that I don't know, there's just like, there's so many levels of how people are judging, like without even thinking about it. It's just all subconscious, and it's just all having that self-control not to let out those deep thoughts.
Right. But it's still interesting how we still have those thoughts,
Yeah, it's like I have a lot of those thoughts with myself when I do stuff. I like kind of sugarcoat and leave certain words out because I don't want to sound like a loser from where I work.
Right.
Like, because I know I'm very conscious of people thinking in a certain way, but I tend to worry about their intrusive thoughts of how they think about me when I really don't need to.
Dude, that's actually really interesting what you just said, because I never realized it, but I'm always thinking about what intrusive thoughts they're having about me.
Yep.
Like, I'm always thinking about that, dude. I never even realized it. I'm like really self-conscious about what other people think of me and shit. Like, I'm always like just assuming what people think of me and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, what do you gotta say about that? About the topic?
Yeah, every time I've looked at you, I've been like,
You don't have to do this.
Jacob, I taught vegan.
I really came to you in this time of weakness.
I think
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think I shouldn't acknowledge that it happens, but I think it is kind of deceptive to look at someone and be like, oh, you work at Target? Because my dad knows this guy that the second he was done with college, he moved in with his mom again, and he started working like one of those jobs. And what he did is he bought a house, but he didn't live in it, he rented it out. So he was making all this money and he was just pouring it into his house until it was paid off. And then with that money, he bought another house and another house and another. And now this guy like owns the Sleep Inn in Minot. He owns half of the mall. He owns all of the strip mall of Town and Country, and over 100 or 200 rental houses in Minot. I mean, needless to say, this guy pulls in like probably $50,000 to $200,000 a month, and all because he just spent his money smart in the beginning. So I think it's deceptive to put someone into a category based on where they work.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and I think that's why Dylan, like what Dylan said about just that's why we don't talk. That's why we don't say those intrusive thoughts out loud, because it would be foolish for me to. Well, because and you know it comes down to stoicism too. Like you're not your thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's something I think that's what it comes down to as well. But like I really like what Dylan said about the whole intrusive thoughts, and we would be a fool to judge someone based on where they work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like there are people who work those jobs who definitely fit the stereotype.
That's true.
I'd say for sure, but not everyone, right? So, what is one thing you guys would tell your 17-year-old self? Who wants to go first? I don't want to go first. One of you two go first.
Dylan can go first.
I would tell myself to be more confident and just being be more confident in being yourself. Like just don't hold back because you think someone's gonna judge you. Exactly like what we were just talking about. Because it doesn't matter what they have to say because they're not in the current positions that you are in. That doesn't mean like I'm better than you. That means like I've been through all of this, which has built me up to where I am now. So I feel like if I told my younger self something, it's 1, stop yapping so much. 2, kill your ego. And 3, just don't worry about anything out of your hands because inevitably it's not going to affect you. If it's not in your hands, it can't burn your hands.
I would tell my 17-year-old self to be humble and invest in myself because I've spent a lot of time like thinking about what I would rather be doing, if I would rather be in a relationship with someone or when I was in a relationship. I always want to fix other people, not because they're doing things wrong, but I want to help other people more than I want to help myself. And it started draining my mental health a lot. So I would tell myself to invest in myself, spend time with just me, doing things I like, being productive, and to just be humble.
What are we at right now? It's 12. We're at 13 minutes. Okay. I would tell myself to just stop making up imaginary scenarios in my head, whether it came to trying to make friends or wanting to talk to a hot girl. I would just always downplay myself and just always make shit up in my head, like, oh, she probably is not into me, or oh, she said that to me, it must mean she's not into me. I would just read in between the lines too much, and I wouldn't take enough chances. And I wish I would have just tried to make more friends and talk to more people because I was just hiding behind. I kept telling myself I'm just too anxious to talk to people, but I wish I would have just said fuck it and just tried to talk to everyone and tried to make more friends and not just stay with the same people I was with all the time. I
did not want to do it.
And I guess just differentiating between like who's your real friend and who's just around just to be around. You think the noodles are done?
Close. Not yet.
Yeah, definitely to differentiate between who really gives a fuck about you and who's just around just because. Like, yeah, I definitely wish I would have just talked to more people and not made up shit in my head. Reasons why people wouldn't want to talk to me. 90% of the time, it's not true. It's a bunch of Indeed.
That's good.
I have another topic here. This is a quick one though. Spirituality. People like to confuse religion, like people like to take being a Christian and being like a spiritual person, and they like to make it a competition, and they think that, oh, I'm a better Christian than you because I prayed today and I read the Bible today and I went to church today. I'm better than you because I did these things, you know. And that's not, like, I don't think religion is, I don't think that's the point at all. Well, no shit, right? No one, I'm just saying, just seems like there's so many people out here who just think they're so self-righteous because they are Christian or they're spiritual. It's like, bro, like, that shit's not about competition. Like, it's about accepting yourself. Like, all that religion, spirituality, all that's about is it's accepting yourself and accepting the world, and like that's just to navigate you through the world. It's not a competition.
Yeah, I think your outer appearance shouldn't your status on how you are in your religion should not be built on your outer appearance, but it should be built on your actions. You should not. There's no levels with it. There's no levels of competition, because inevitably it's all about how you are going in your walk. It's not about how you look compared to this other person. And I used to see that like that. I'm like, well, honestly, my sins aren't that bad, because people like have sinned way worse. I used to think that for like a couple seconds, and then I felt so humbled in my mind. Then I was like, well, I mean, regardless, if two people commit a crime, one commits murder, one commits like Grand Theft Auto, they're both going to jail. So I mean, like, regardless, I can compare myself to others and be like, well, I'm better than you because of this, and what I did isn't that bad because of this. We're still going to get punished. We're both going to hell regardless. So that's my thought. What are your thoughts, Jacob?
I think Christians have it so backwards, and they're quick to be self-righteous and slow to be humble, and it should be the complete other way around, because ultimately, if Christianity becomes a competition, then you lose the opportunity to bring in more people, to bring in more believers. Because if someone's going in, it's the same thing as if you went to, I don't know if this is going to be a good analogy, if you went to the YMCA and you wanted to go play basketball, but only professionals were playing, and the second you got on, they started to be like, ugh, what was that? You call that a shot? I mean, you would not want to go back and play. Yeah. But if those professionals who are skilled in what they do started to mentor you and be like, oh, maybe you should start working on this, I think the drive to go and get better becomes higher because you're being pushed more. So I think a lot of Christians have it so backwards.
And I feel like a lot of Christians' drive are to fill a title of being a Christian by putting on this outward appearance because they go to church to act good, then once they leave it's back to normal. I don't know, I feel like it's just a wrong motive.
100%. Yeah. Did y'all have any more topics you wanted to bring up before we wrap it up? Or do you want to wrap it up right here? Because we're at 15 right now. I mean, that's what we were shooting for.
Yeah.
You guys got any more ideas? No? So we can wrap it up right here.
What are our thoughts on? That's when one of you guys say, "Oh wait, I have a topic idea."
I mean, I can pull something out of my ass, but like,
yeah.
I'm asking you guys.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, I think dating's really fucked up for men and women right now.
I think she should just leave the lid off because it's trapping in all the heat and making the bubbles go.
Yep.
I think the news are probably about.
I think it's time.
Yeah, turn off the heat. Yeah.
Yep.
I think dating right now is fucked for men and women because, I can't really speak for the women. I'm just gonna assume it's fucked for them too because it just feels like it's legit fucked for guys. It just feels like these girls they just have so many options that like if they just judge you right away, and if you don't fit whatever fucking criteria they fit, they're just not gonna give you the time of day, and they don't have to because they have like a bunch of guys hitting them up most of the time. No, I don't know if this is all just assumptions or whatnot, but it just feels like these girls out here are just fucking, it just feels like they all playing hard to get.
I feel like it comes back to personality a lot, and I think it just comes down to just worrying about it. Because for me, I feel like if I put out a certain kind of persona, I feel like those are going to be the kind of women that I'm like attracting in. Yep.
But because you are what you attract, right? So.
Yep. So if I like seem desperate, then I'll find someone who's desperate. If I just try to stay secluded, stay to myself, odds are I'll find someone kind of like that. So I just feel like it's all about leaving the worries to the side, because with a relationship, what really are you in a rush for to get into one soon? Obviously, the biggest struggles are just going to be your emotions, your temptations. I'm laying alone, that sucks. The things I could be doing in a relationship would be fun. Look at these people. Look at that situation. And I feel like it just boils back down to just what is your current motive in a relationship that makes you want to get into one so bad, that will end up leading you into these bad places and experiences, which obviously these could be like good relationships at the start that go into those regardless. But I don't know. I feel like it stems back down to just
I think
I lost my
TikTok.
words.
I think TikTok fucked our generation's mental health up with COVID, because COVID happened, and then TikTok, because everyone uses fucking TikTok, and I deleted that app because the bullshit that I read on there, dude, that app is literally a depression and anxiety increaser. Literally, that app, all you see is these edgy ass posts of, oh, if he wanted to, he would. Or it's guys posting, oh, that girl played me, I'm gonna play her. It's guys and girls just hurt. It's just hurt men and women.
Just beefing at
Just
each other.
trying to hurt the opposite gender that hurt them, because everyone is so heartbroken and jaded. And I really wish people would just look past I wish people would just stop being so jaded and having rose tinted glasses when it comes to dating. Because everyone just wants to, yeah, okay, I don't even know where I'm trying to go with that. It just feels like everyone has rose tinted glasses from getting fucked over in dating. And then everyone's gotten fucked over, so now everyone has trust issues, and it just makes everything so much more difficult. Like, it's just, I feel like dating is just harder for everyone right now, for men and women. I don't know.
I think social media in general has kind of screwed it over, because there's nothing that irks me more than seeing a post that is like a put down of someone. It's like a humble brag, you know, or like even songs that are released are so like, oh, he lost the opportunity and I'm the one up, he's the one down, look what he's missing.
Yeah, like,
you know,
Cardi B, like,
yep. There's such a big culture of his loss and not mine, or I mean her loss even as well. And social media, I see it all the time where there's posts about people. I mean, there's breakup songs that are just like, screw you. And, you know, there's just this huge culture of being immature and staying mature. And what that's doing is driving everyone to think that immaturity is normal. Yep.
And that's what you got to do to get the opposite gender.
Exactly. And one of my biggest things that I do not like when it comes to dating is dating apps. Because what it is just a whole bunch of people who are really lonely looking for a relationship. And honestly, if someone is really lonely and they don't know how to deal with their emotions themselves, and so they download a dating app, they're going to find that exact same person, and it's just going to be two super incomplete, insecure, lonely people coming together to create a super lonely, insecure relationship.
Damn, I gotta delete Tinder then. Holy shit, that's why that shit ain't working. I'm fucking weird, that's why.
I just feel like you skip a lot of steps when you take a dating app, because you're losing the first steps, in-person communication. You're losing out all these natural things, just meeting someone, bumping into someone, building that confidence. I feel like compliments are all driven out the window because sexual thoughts and motives have just taken over. So there's no like, I just thought your eyes were really pretty, and then you leave. Instead, it's, I thought your eyes were really pretty. You got Snapchat? Something like that. I feel like nobody can just be nice to each other anymore. So it all has to go into a relationship. People can't be like, I just thought your smile was really nice.
I can't tell you how many times people have been, like, how I've been called gay, like, throughout high school, because I was just nice to girls.
Really?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I thought you were gay.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, man.
Like, you just treat a girl right, and then
Yes.
you're a fag.
Yes, exactly. And I really don't like that. And I don't like when I want to compliment a girl, how I have to think twice and be like, oh, they're going to think I'm flirting.
Yep,
you know
yep,
what I mean?
yep,
You know what I mean?
Dude, it sucks that every girl just assumes a man is a murderer or a rapist. Like, that's legitimately what it feels like. It feels like women, like, just think every guy is, like, a rapist or a murderer. Like, it's actually fucking, I can feel, like, dude, just the way, like, most girls act when they're just, like, when they don't know you. like, and I get that girls, like, I get that, but like, it's so fucking annoying that they just treat every guy like that.
I feel like there are two things that would have happened to do that. It's either one really bad experience that led them to start thinking that
That's
way,
what it is, like, majority
or
of the
two,
time, probably.
Stereotypes on social media. If a guy looks like this, if a guy has oily hair, if this guy wears the same clothes every single day, obviously that's probably not a good thing. But it's just, it can just be built on, I'd say, social media again. I'd just go back into that. Because most people are just following a trend of this is not the guy to go for. You need someone with a fit jawline, curly hair.
Yes.
Wearing a gray shirt, black socks, black pants.
I wonder who that is.
Or even like an orange hat.
I want to backtrack and go back to the like dating being completely broken. I was gonna mention that a lot of the girls that are out, like if you go to a bar and I'm just saying an analogy, I do not go to bars. If you go to a bar, if you go to a club, or if you go somewhere in public and girls are hitting on you and they're trying to get with you, the girls that put themselves out there are the exact same girls that are going to give you trouble. But if you start to just be patient and wait and not look for a relationship, you're going to find someone that is also patient, and then you're going to... I think that the girls that aren't actively pursuing relationships are the girls that are confident in themselves, but also have enough maturity to actually handle a relationship.
Yeah.
So I think the girls that all of these stereotypes are falling under of being like bad dating and being really toxic are the same girls that are super insecure about being alone.
Yep. And I feel like one thing that has to stop in life is probably just, this kind of goes back to the beginning, a little part that I forgot, so I'm paraphrasing. No, I'm just gonna go off. I feel like people need to just quit attacking people because of their thoughts on their social status, or just seeing how they dress, judging them for that. Because at the end of the day, it's we can get by giving facts, giving real statements without attacking people. Like if you see someone or a group of women dressing a certain way, okay, well they're dressing a certain way. They planned their night. That's how that's gonna go. I'm still gonna go live my life. I don't have to just attack them and ruin their night. Like I just feel like people just keep attacking each other either because they're heartbroken or because just something doesn't sit right, so they feel entitled to correct someone who doesn't need their validation at all.
Yeah. I wish the whole culture of loneliness isn't good would die, because there's a lot of people that are single now that are more mature, full of integrity, and just complete people I've ever met, and they're old. And also, this whole dating culture when we're young, I wish would also die, because I'm 20 years old, and my parents didn't get married till they were like 30 something. Like back in the day, being 20 and getting married was so unusual.
Yeah.
But nowadays that's almost like what's expected. And so this whole culture of being lonely isn't good is so annoying to me, because it's not, and it's okay to work on yourself, and it's okay to be alone for a season of life. And I think that the second you start acting on your loneliness, you're going to attract how you act. Yep. So if you just want a relationship because you're lonely and you can't deal with your lustful thoughts by yourself, you're going to attract a relationship that's the exact same, and it's just not going to be edifying to you.
Yep.
I'm going to just keep it a buck. Like, I'm going to just be raw and real for the audience. Like, what these two are talking about, of like the whole, like, you are what you attract, that's something that I really struggle with, because when I get lonely, I get really dumb and I get really horny, and I typically do some really stupid shit that I usually wish I wouldn't do. And shit, on some real shit. And like what they're saying is so true, guys. Like if you get lonely as fuck and you want to act impatient and like just be a little hoe, it's not fucking worth it. I'm speaking from experience. It's such a fucking temptation to just try to like just hit it and quit it, especially when you're lonely. Being lonely can make you do some really fucking dumb shit, especially when it comes to girls and stuff. But like for the audience out there, like I really just want y'all to know, like, what they're saying about be patient and just wait for someone, and that's how you'll find it. Because if you want to just be fast and you want to be impatient, and you want to just go if you want to just go fuck something, get your rocks off, you will suffer the consequences for that. I'm telling you, you will. What they're saying is the most real shit we've talked about on this podcast yet. You are what you attract. If you want to be desperate and lonely and fucking just want to fuck, you're gonna attract the same people like that, and you're probably not gonna fucking like what you attract. So just, yeah, you gotta be patient and you gotta pick the right person, but you also have to be the right person too.
Yeah, I feel like I've always felt that if a relationship starts up fast, it's gonna end fast too. Because if you don't have that foundation of time learning about someone and just at least being friends, so you know that you would work as friends. So if you do break up, what are you gonna have as a foundation to rely on? Like, if I go in, meet someone for a week, and then decide, you know what, I'm gonna date them because it's like a really nice click. It just bang, and now we're dating. Say we break up, we go our separate ways. What are you gonna fall on? Because you never had a foundation of being friends. You are just completely in that because it just felt good. So the faster, because the longer relationships could also end fast too.
Yeah, your spouse, your significant other, that they can't be your passion. Like, you have to have something you're passionate about, and then they have to come second to that. Because if all you care about in your life is your spouse and nothing else, that's how you act clingy and fucking annoying, and that's how you drive people away from you. If you don't have something in life that you enjoy besides your partner's probably gonna end up fucking hating you eventually because you're so fucking annoying and you don't have anything else to fucking do except for to be around your partner all the time. Again, this is something I've learned from my fucking experience. Guys, I have so many like stories when it comes to like dating and shit. I have so many lessons I could teach and shit. Like, this one time Jacob was giving me head. No, let me chill. But
I also have this wallpaper from a while back. It says, if you want to find the right person, be the right person. Because we're all gonna look into the mirror and see something we don't like. So to have those expectations on you want someone who's perfect when you look into the mirror and you don't see perfect, then you're holding your standards higher than you're holding your self expectations. So you're looking for a spouse who can do it all, but you can't even do half. Like, it's just, I feel like you just really got to be the right person. Take your time, because there's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to do in a relationship that you can't do on your own, other than obviously like cuddling, the physical aspect. But it's like, if that's your main concern, so what are you gonna do if you don't want to touch each other? You don't want to hang out, you don't want to hug, you don't want to cuddle. Are you gonna suffice talking? Because it doesn't seem like it if you build it up on the wrong things. If you build it up on just talking, it's weird.
Something I also think is weird is like the idea of dating. So let me explain. So if I asked a girl to go out for dinner one night with the intentions of getting to know her, she would say that that's a date and now we're dating, you know? Yep. So like, being in a relationship also comes with getting to know a person, and that really annoys me because there's so many times where, not so many, there's been a couple times where I've wanted to take someone, be like, hey, do you want to go get coffee? But I know that they're going to take that as I'm interested, when really I'm just trying to get to know someone. And also, I want to run it back and acknowledge that we were saying a lot of stereotypes, and that not every girl is how we explained them. There's a small stereotype, and we were talking about the stereotypes of our experiences, but there are plenty of good girls who are mature, ready for a relationship, and I think if we're talking about you or not.
And they don't get the light shone on them most, because there's a main focus on the people who do you wrong. So that's all we start to look at. Oh, look at how these people are acting. Look at how wrong she is. Because we're not recognizing the good people in our lives, because we are so distracted by the train wreck that have happened in our past and happened in our experiences. So we focus on like those bad issues. And if we're describing like women, we obviously mean the same vice versa with men, because that can also, it's flip-flopped as well. Like, all of our experiences that we can talk about with women can talk about the same thing with men. It's all vice versa. We're just going off of our thoughts and then revising them.
Let's talk about that. Why is it that in today's society we're so quick to talk bad about someone, but we never ever
Because we're ungrateful.
compliment.
Because it's easier to focus on the bad and the good, and it's because we're ungrateful. And back in the days, our grandparents, you know, they were more grateful than us. I'm trying to think exactly why. Because they were taught, I don't know what's happened to society, but society is so much more materialistic nowadays. And my mind just went blank. What's the topic?
Like why do we talk about people's the bad things people do
Because
instead of the good?
it's easier to focus on the bad. Fuck, I had a quote about this and I can't fucking remember. But it's we're just ungrateful.
Mm-hmm.
We're ungrateful because you can get your groceries delivered to your house. You can literally sit at home all day and press a button and get groceries delivered to your fucking house, okay? We are literally spoiled. We are a spoiled generation. And this is why we focus on, because we're always trying to find issues and problems. That's just how we are as humans, because we're problem-solving creatures. So that's why we always focus on the bad, because life can be going great, but we'll always find something to fucking not like. We'll always find something to not like, and it's just how we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish that I was, I can't think of the word. I wish I was programmed in the way that I could talk about someone's achievements and like compliment them, as opposed to constantly harping on what they do wrong. Like, for example, if Dylan went and did a 5K, we would never talk about that. But if Dylan went and broke into someone's house and stole stuff, that's what we would talk about that for hours.
I mean, I would talk about it if Dylan did a 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you on?
But I think accomplishments are not acknowledged nearly as much as they should be, and I think we should be a lot more encouraging to each other. That's something that I need to work on.
I feel like people love compliments. Or are you saying we don't give enough compliments?
I feel like we gossip too much.
Yes.
I
It's
do.
not that
I do.
I do.
I do. I'm really bad at it.
Yeah.
I sometimes I think of my conscience and I'm like, you know what? We've talked about this person enough. Let's move on.
Dude, yeah, fuck. But that's just our programming. Like this is what we've seen growing up as kids, and what we've seen from our family and our parents and our other friends growing up. That's all that is. It's just like what we've been programmed into our brains since we were kids.
Yeah, it's
That's why we're like that. We probably got that from our mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or something. That gossiping, it comes from somewhere. It doesn't come from it doesn't just pop out of the blue, you know.
Also, talking about materialistic, like how people are very materialistic nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to touch on one thing that changed my mind on being materialistic, is that if you focus on how many things you can achieve, and well, that's good. If you focus on how many like things you can acquire, I want diamonds, I want iPhones, I want tablets and stuff like that. For me, in a Christian state of mind, my thought is if you focus on the world and those gifts that they have to offer, then you forget what the streets in heaven are made out of. Solid gold. And I just wanted to say that before it left my mind. That's how I stopped dealing with being materialistic. Because, like, obviously, I feel like one of my love languages, my top one, could probably be gift giving. Because I feel like getting the reactions of people giving gifts is better than receiving. And I feel like being materialistic, you're just way too focused on things that they're eventually going to break, and then now you go back into financial crisis because now I got to worry about replacing these things, but they just look so good. Why would I save up my next check? Because I just bought a suit yesterday that's probably going to last me a long time, but I didn't buy it because I had a goal with it. I bought it because I need some color in the wardrobe. I feel like it's going to last, and once it's gone, it doesn't really matter. It's just a suit. Money's not infinite, but I'll make it back.
Should we wrap it up right here?
Yeah, we've been yapping.
I think we're at 40.
I think this is probably one of the best, though. Well, the second one. I feel like this is
probably one of the best.
That was a good little podcast. All right, guys. Episode 2 is in the books. I want to give a thanks to Dylan and Jacob for joining us today. Thanks for being our guest today, Jacob. Thanks for helping me with the noodles and the chicken. I didn't even ask him to do that. He just got up and did it. He's a good fucking slave. He's a good slave.
Hard.
But yeah, I want to give a shout out to these two guys that without them this wouldn't be happening. Shout out to jodeci for being swag. Shout out to Lisa for
Lisa.
the ideas. Those are some pretty good ideas. Next
word.
episode, we're probably gonna try and have Lisa call in onto the podcast, and we want to talk about dating and like what girls find confusing about guys and what guys find confusing about girls. So stay tuned for episode 3. We're gonna have a call in with the homegirl Lisa.
Yeah, and everything she says, we're just gonna deny as men.
Yeah.
No.
We just gaslight her the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but you don't understand what you guys do.
Invalid.
Hey, that's so
If
funny.
you think those stereotypes are bad, wait till you hear about women.
But yeah, y'all stay tuned because we're gonna have a very pretty blonde lady on the next episode. So y'all gotta watch that. Thank you guys so much for watching. And without any other further ado, these two were making out before we started this.
we weren't.
Exposed.